What's up and welcome everybody. You know, after a few days after I posted the last video, I realized that I haven't updated my intro. So that I did. And while I was doing that, I realized that it's hard to find some good guidance on how you want to address making an intro. So today, that's what we're gonna do. So the first thing that you want to do is that you fire up your video editor, whether it's Premiere Pro as I use, or if it's Final Cut, or if it's Filmora or DaVinci Resolve, or whatever it is. Fire it up, start there. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to find some kind of music. You don't want it to be too long and you don't want it to be too short, but in my opinion, between 5 and 10 seconds it's good. Now, we're gonna have to see if I can make that. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so looking at this, we're creating a new project. That's where we want to start. So that's the first thing that you want to do. The second thing that you want to do is you want to take all your files and everything, all your clips or pictures or whatever it is, you want to import them into your project. Now, depending on what frame rates or frames per second you normally make your videos, I usually make my videos in 24 frames per second, which I hope that you do as well. So the first, at least in Premiere Pro, the first clip that you drag into the timeline, it's gonna decide what setting it's gonna be. The resolution, the frames per seconds, and all of that. So if you don't have a clip or a picture, or if you only have pictures, or you don't have a clip that's 24 frames per second, you can take another clip, import it into the project, drop it in the timeline, and then just remove it from the timeline. So that's, I believe it's the same for most video editors. I can't say for sure because I haven't tried them all. In Premiere Pro, you can just mark all the clips, drag them over, and just drop them on the timeline. For this, we don't need the sound of the clips, so we can just unlink them and remove them. Second of all, you want to find the music that you want to use. Now, this is a preference thing, and I'm actually using the music from the last video, or I mean my last intro, mainly because I believe it's an easy edit. You can find these marks in the video. You can sometimes you can see it, sometimes you can't, but you listen for something that explicitly makes a good transition. So that's what we're gonna mark up. We're gonna add a marker for every time it happens. Next thing you want to do is you want to find the exit. Now, this might be a little long as of now, but we're gonna see how we want the clip to appear. If you have a clip that's not 24 frames per second, if it's 25 or 30 or 60 or 120, whatever it is, you want to change the speed of the clip so that it matches the frames per second, the actual intro that you're editing. Now, if you're not sure what speed you're gonna use, you can just open the calculator. Next thing, you want to find where you want every clip to start. The good thing about using markers is that you can drag the clip to the markers and make sure that they fit. It's not a necessity, but it is easier that way. It's easier to work with it. Now, if you have all your clips and you know exactly what you want, what part of the clips you want, then it's kind of more easy. For this purpose, I just took some clips and figured we'll do the best out of it. So I mainly just wanted a wave there. I wanted the coffee in the beginning. I look like I'm high or something, which I ain't. Don't do drugs. And I knew that I didn't want anything else from that clip, so I could just delete it. Mark everything, drag them closer so I don't have to go search for them every time. Now, some of these clips I didn't really know what I wanted to do with it, what part I wanted. So it took some finding or searching and finding before I knew exactly what I wanted, which is why I cut in some mysterious places. Now, some parts you know where you want, some parts you don't, and sometimes you make mistakes deleting the part that you actually wanted. But in Premiere Pro or in most of the video editors, it's kind of easy. In Premiere Pro, it's just Command set, and you're undoing the part that you did, or how to say. And you want to find the parts that you like and that you want to use. And I mean, it doesn't always have to be perfect. I mean, you can always redo stuff. I redo my stuff all the time, no matter what it is. If it's an edit or if it's, I don't know, me streaming or whatever it is, I have a tendency to redo the small adjustments because I want to get closer to perfect. And in doing so, I evolve. I get better at doing stuff. I'm not the best, not the greatest by any means, but it evolves me and I like that. Now, this part here, you can see that it doesn't go in the direction that I want. So that one we're gonna have to cut out. I mean, not cut out, but we gotta change the direction so that it goes backwards, because I don't want it going down, I want it going up. And as you can see, this is upside down, so we're gonna have to fix that. Pro tip: if you're using Premiere Pro and you have one transition that you're always using, you can right click it, you can make it the default, and that way when you're editing you can just mark wherever you want the clip that you want, and you can just hit Command and D. That way you automatically add the transition. Same goes for audio transitions, but it's Command Shift D on a Mac at least. I don't know how it is in on a PC. When you're doing an intro, you want to make sure that you smooth out the music or whatever it is, and you can do that by adding keyframes. So you add a keyframe for the volume level, you go to the end where you add another keyframe and you drag down the volume. Now, depending how much you're gonna adjust it, depends, it's kind of a preference. I use -44 decibels, and that's the volume it will go down to before it ends. So it's kind of nice smoothing it out. I kind of like the fact when the video and the audio just smoothens out at the same time. Personal preference, all right. And if you've done this, you've come this far, you like what you've done, the edits, the clips, the music, everything, but you feel that something's missing. In my case, it's my name, Philip Waike, and of course, photo video gotta be there, obviously, right? That's what I do. So you just hit the T for text layer, you smash it in and type the text that you want, you place it where you want it and using the font that you want and all those settings. Make sure to place it above the timeline or the other timelines where you have all your clips and your adjustment layer. And I'm using the Mr. Defoe clip, or the type, what do you call it? Font. The Mr. Defoe font for my name, which I've grown quite fond of it. Now place it where you want it, and if you do, you might not, but if you do want it to kind of change where, I mean, if you want the text to be in one place at first and maybe you don't quite like where it is, where it goes, then you can do that with keyframes as well. Now, I don't like, or okay, I'm not gonna say that I don't like the smash and grab thing. I know it's not called smash and grab. When something just appears. I kind of like when it's smooth, so that's why I'm doing it this way right now, where I change the opacity of the text so that it kind of goes with the clip, and you want to make sure that the text is visible all the time throughout the clip. You don't want it to kind of disappear in the picture. That's why I added a shadow and I don't even know what you call it. I added a stroke, a small one, just to make sure that you have a frame of the text so that it's more visible, and the shadow helps as well. So you got the text there the way you want it. Make sure that it goes the same way as the rest of the video, or the intro in this case. Now you can do a lot of cool stuff in After Effects as well. Could add the text in After Effects and simply use that. You could do the whole intro in After Effects. I mean, my last intro I made in After Effects, Adobe After Effects, After Effects, After Effects, After Effects. So it is possible, but I've kind of grown more fond of Premiere Pro, and I'm more comfortable with it, with cutting the clips and all that, which makes me, that's the reason that I use Adobe Premiere for this. But I could as easily have done it in Premiere Pro. No, not Premiere Pro, in After Effects. Now I got my text there. Now remember, this is the same, what do you call it, the same graphics clip. So every change that I do to the opacity and everything is gonna affect both the text följa and photo/video, or well, it's not a slash actually, it's a pipe. And in this case, I want it that way. There might be times where I don't want it that way, and that's fine. As I've said before, it's a personal preference, what you like and what you don't like. Alright, so we got the text, we fixed the opacity, but it doesn't feel quite right, because I don't really like how it is up in the water. I want it to be a bit more down, and I want it to be kind of smaller, which is why I'm making it smaller. So you just add a keyframe for it. And if you have several keyframes, you can smoothen the movements, which can be nice. And that is actually easier to do in After Effects than Premiere Pro, I've realized. Now, when you're done, you can watch the whole thing, make sure that you like what you've done, that you're happy with it. And if you're using Premiere Pro, you just hit Command M to export the whole thing. Then you just wait and Bob's your uncle. And you're done. And now you can have a look of what we made. Alright, if you liked this video and you thought it was helpful, then be sure to give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. Click that notification belly thing so you don't miss the next video. And until I see you next time, have a good one. I'm done.